Hi, it's Denise from Painted Party, and today I want to share some things that we've discovered through collaboration in the Starblend Creations group on Facebook. The first one I want to show you, I know is an issue because a lot of you have said, oh, my Starblend's broke. So I was going to show you how easy it is to actually repair your Starblends. So let's say you've dropped it on the ground, try to save all the pieces. Get all the fuzzy wuzzies out of it. Put it back in your container or maybe a little baggie or something like that and bring it home. This tip actually came from Sherry Ayers. She keeps a spoon in her kit so that she can press her Starblends down if she ever does have an accident. And so what I figured out is that it works really good if you strain the Starblends back into a powder. So I'm going to get a little piece of wax paper here. If you strain the contents back into a powder, it works really good to press, and then you don't have any uneven spots. So you just take your kitchen sieve that you've cleaned with some alcohol and let dry, just so it's sanitary. And this even worked on a white cake. Part of this cake is a white cake that I had gotten wet and was no longer usable because it had solidified. And you see once you put it through the sieve, and I usually do that about 3 times just to make sure I've got it all. But I've taken it back to powder form. And so now I can put it back into the container. And it does make it awfully fluffy, just to warn you. So it might be a little higher than your container at first. But you can see it's all nice and powdery. And so what I do is I just take a little spoon and just kind of take the edges down a little bit. Move it around in here. See how it's kind of wanting to creep over the edge. So I just kind of tamp it down around the edges a little bit, and you'll see why in just a second. Kind of creating a little volcano in the middle. Okay, and I discovered that my Coke glass has the same size almost exactly as Starblend's. But the trick is you can actually press these into any container you want. So you can actually press them into an old paint container that you have, or even a square container if you want to just test out a little bit. Like maybe a 1-stroke container if you just want to test having it in a smaller container. So I'm pressing down hard, but not hard enough I'm going to break my glass, obviously. And I'm just kind of moving it around the edges just to make sure I get it all tamped down. And then let's see if there's any excess. A little bit. But you can see I can even tap the back and it's not going to come out. I had these in my kit. They've done really well. See, there's very little that's left over. And see, you've got a nice brand new Starblend. Okay, so I'm going to show you another trick. Because I figured out that you could do that, thanks to my other face painting friends, I also discovered that you can make your own custom colors. So these are 2 colors that I wanted to be able to make zombies with. And so I took red and blue and made purple, and then I mixed some brown in with it, and I just scraped these off the top off the cakes that weren't you know, I didn't totally undo the cakes, I just scraped some off the top. But I just pressed this into an old, I think it's a wolf container. And this is actually a lid. But I made this with some white, yellow, and some brown. So I was going to show you how to do that. So here I saved some of that white I had from these, like the combination of these 2 cakes, and then I put some black in with it. Let's see what shade of gray we've got with it. So what we'll do is the same thing we did before, is just sift it. And as we're sifting it, we will mix up the colors together. So I just take a spoon. And as you're sifting it through there, it will mix up. See, it's already starting to make like a gray color. I can't promise this will be a fabulous color. Because when I did my colors, I kind of experimented. I'd make it and then remix it. So you can see that it's starting to make a gray color. Okay, let's put it through the sieve one more time. And see, now I've made my own gray color. I'd probably do it a couple more times. You probably can't see it on camera, but there's a few little granules of the different colors. This even helps too, if you can kind of just go over it. But you just keep mixing until the granules are all pretty evenly gray. But even if you press them in with the granules kind of just still showing, it still works. So I'm going to show you these the brown pool cake that I did, and I'll put up a picture of a zombie that I made with it. So here's kind of, see how it's a nice strong color because it has red in it? And then you can take the back of your smoothie and kind of mix it. Like maybe if you want to do some shading, do it a little bit darker in some places. And then here's the tan that I made. Isn't that nice? It's a nice tan color. So you can make zombies with it. Pretty cool, huh? So now the third thing I wanted to show you is actually mixing in the cakes. And I was just kind of playing with this idea to see if they would even blend together. So I'm loading green, and then I'm going to come over here and load some yellow. And then I'm going to come back to the green. Look at that cool lime color you get. Isn't that neat? So you get the vibrancy of the yellow mixing with the green that's, you know, we all admit that's pretty crappy sometimes. Look at that great lime green. So the brilliance of this is, first of all, you go back over it and the cake's clean because you've lifted it up into your sponge. But you can use the darker green to now shade your new creation that you just created in the sponge. And you can use the lighter shade. So yeah, I just cleaned off all that green that was on the yellow cake. But you can use the lighter shade to now highlight that same color that you just created. Oops. And so I'll put up a picture of the Grinch face that I made using this principle. So I didn't even have to make a whole separate cake. I just mixed it right in the sponge and went back and forth like this. You know, if I'd look at the color a little bit, okay, look, see that's a beautiful green, and so I'd come in and I'd put a little bit of that in. And you can see how you can kind of mix it like right in there. And so let's say that's a little light. So let's come back in and get more green this time. You can even go back over it again to kind of even out the color. So that's my little tutorial about fixing Starblends and making your own creations with Starblends. Thanks.